Good morning, and welcome to the Cyber Smart Morning News Update. With the always evolving world of cyber threats and defense, you need a source you can trust. FBI retired Special Agent Darren Mott guides you through today's intricate cyber landscape and brings you the latest headlines and insights and what it means to you. Let's dive into today's cyber news.
Good morning, friends. It is Monday, January 27th, 2024. This is the Cyber Smart Morning News Update. I'm your host, retired FBI Supervisory Special Agent Darren Mott. And we have a lot to get to today, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time here up front saying a whole lot of thank yous and all that kind of stuff, but do know that I do thank you for taking time to download, listen, and respond to the podcast. Quick programming note. There will be the reintroduction of the Cyber Guy podcast, my original podcast I started 5 years ago. Will be back tomorrow. I'm going to reintroduce it to 2025. I'm going to talk a lot of different stuff about Gold Shield Cyber and all that stuff coming up, but I'll hold it till then because I have 8 tabs open. And looking through the news this morning, there was so much that I wanted to try to touch on. I'm probably going to not give all of this the greatest coverage that I could, but as always, all of the articles are listed in the show notes for you to go back and refer to. I'm just going to hit the highlights on all of these things because there's a lot of stuff over the weekend because, like I like to say, the cyber crime problem never seems to resolve itself. So first one is article from the Register. Paul Cooner's reporting. British Museum says ex-contractor shut down its IT systems and wreaked havoc. Now this is an important topic because we don't talk about this a lot because it's not a lot of reporting on this, but this has to do with insider related activity and, making sure that as a company you do the right things when you get rid of employees. But the British Museum was forced to temporarily close some galleries and exhibitions this week, and after a disgruntled former tech contractor went rogue and shuttered some of its on-site IT systems. The freelancer gained entry to an unauthorized area late last week to wreak havoc, the Metropolitan Police confirmed. A spokesperson for the Public Museum in central London, which houses 8 million works related to human history, art, and culture, told the Register at the weekend, quote, an IT contractor who was dismissed last week trespassed into the museum and shut down several of its systems. Police attended and he was arrested at the scene. Well, this is interesting because he actually went into the system. This is not, he didn't hack into it. He actually went to it and got in. Now, the thing is, he must have still had credentials to be able to get into the network and do things. But I'm not going to get real deep into this article, but just remember, when you get rid of people, either they be contractors, actual employees, things like that, you have to make sure you disable all their access to your system pretty quickly because if they go bad or they're angry, bad things can happen. So this is a good reminder to have the right processes in place, cross the T's, dot the I's, do the things you're supposed to do when people leave your business. All right, meme coiners hack Breaking Bad star's X account. This is from cybernews.com. This is Linus Kimalauskas reporting, and I apologize, I certainly mangled his last name there. But another day, another high-profile victim of a meme coin scam targeting unsuspecting crypto traders. Dean Norris, famous for his role in the Breaking Bad TV series, has fallen victim to yet another crime scheme. Norris, known for playing Hank Schrader in the show, took to X to confirm that his account had been hacked to promote the Dean meme coin. According to him, it was a complete fake scam, and he urged users to just ignore it. In a separate post, the TV star explained that he rarely uses X and didn't know his account had been hacked until he started receiving texts from friends alerting him to the situation. Now, my guess is he did not have multi-factor authentication and a poor password, but that's my guess on how that happened. I clicked a couple of accounts accusing me of lying, and it looks like they were people pumping it up, Norris added. Some commenters responded claiming they had lost money to the scam and asking, how did the hacker get videos of you talking about the coin, the telegram, and all that stuff? Others speculated the hacker probably ordered a cameo with intentionally vague language. That would probably be the case. In either case, while the scam posted has already been removed, it was deemed one of the most believable hacking scams. So what is this basically? Doesn't even explain it. It was essentially someone hacked the account and said, hey, there's a new crypto coin. It's called Dean. Feel free to go buy it. And people stupidly bought it. I mean, people, if you're on X, don't fall for everything, for God's sake. But this goes to show, this is a perfect example of how social engineering is so effective. People who just follow Dean Norris, character actor at best. He's never starred in anything. He's been a co-star in many things. You'd recognize him if you saw him. Follow him because they like his work. But I mean, if a celebrity comes out and says, "Here's a crypto coin, go buy it," do some research, for goodness sake. I mean, I'm sorry, but if you purchase it, you fell victim to this, you're an idiot. But I mean, the bad guy, this shows the extent to which cyber criminals do things and all the variety of scams out there. And again, if you don't, like I say all the time, if you don't understand the threats targeting you, you can't assess your risk, you can't proceed wisely. And I'm curious, as I say that a lot, right? I know some people like it and I know people have used it themselves, but I've never asked the question, does it make sense to you? When I say that, does it make sense? I'd be curious if you think, yeah, it makes sense and I should keep using it, or if I need to kind of modify it to make even more sense. But I kind of like it. I came up with it 5 years ago. I've used it ever since, but I think it makes sense, but who knows? Anyway, I'm just curious. It came to my head. Darkreading.com, Christina Beek. Cisco critical meeting management bug requires urgent patch. Now, let's be honest. A lot of businesses are using Cisco products. So this is important for you to pay attention to. And even if you don't work in IT, but you work in a company and you know who the IT people is and you know they have Cisco products, you may need to let them know on this one. This bug has a CVS score of 9.9 and can allow authenticated threat actors to escalate their privileges to admin level exploited. So Cisco has released a patch. So again, get to patching because you can fix this because the patch exists for the vulnerability. For a critical vulnerability found in its Cisco meeting management feature that could allow a remote authenticated attacker to elevate themselves to administrator privileges on an effective device. Cisco Meeting Management is the management tool for Cisco's on-premises meeting platform called Cisco Meeting Server. The management system allows users to monitor and manage meetings that are running on the platform through two user roles. The first is for administrators with full reign over the platform. The second is for video operators who only have access to the meetings and overview pages. The vulnerability, which has a 9.9 CVSS score, is located in the REST API and exists because proper authorization is not enforced on REST API users. Should an attacker send specifically crafted API requests to a specific endpoint, they could exploit the vulnerability and allow an attacker to gain admin level control over edge nodes managed by Cisco Meeting Management. So there is an upgrade for this. I mean, there is a patch for this, so get to patching. It doesn't say it's being currently exploited, but my guess is after today, not because of this podcast, but because this is out, it will be exploited eventually. So, patch your stuff. Cyberscoop.com. From the good news file, but probably not much will happen file, Matt Bracken, DOJ indicts 5 in North Korean fake IT worker scheme. The U.S. government delivered another blow to North Korea's fake IT worker scheme on Thursday with the Department of Justice announcing indictments against 5 men who fraudulently obtained work credentials to work for American companies and generate revenue for Pyongyang. The indictments of North Korean nationals, and I list the names. I'm not going to list them because they're a pain in the butt to read. Oh, actually, I take that back. So Jin Sung Il, Pak Sing Song, Mexican national Pedro Ernesto Alonso de la Reyes. Yeah, I don't think he's not so the first 2 were North Korean nationals, my bad. And U.S. nationals, Eric Netskerny and Prince and Emmanuel Astor follow previous DOJ actions targeting related schemes and come within a week after the Treasury Department sanctioned 2 individuals and 4 entities for allegedly engaging in similar behavior. So the indictment alleges the defendants collected at least $866,000 in revenue from 10 U.S. companies while gaining employment for at least 64 American firms over the course of the scheme, which ran from April 2018 through August 2024. Most of the payments were laundered to a Chinese bank account. Did anyone get arrested? Yes. So the 2 Americans were arrested after a search of Astor's North Carolina residence, which previously served as the home base for the laptop farm. So good. People were arrested. Actually, and another, the Pedro Alonso, whatever the hell his name was arrested in the Netherlands earlier this month. All 3 face charges of conspiracy to cause damage to a protected computer. So that's Section 18, Title 18, Section 1030, if you're keeping track at home. The other 2 are in North Korea. They face the same charges, but they're never going to come here and plead guilty to them or anything like that. So, but thumbs up to that. There's a win. So big win for law enforcement. Good job. Well done. Lawrence Abrams, Bleeping Computer, United Healthcare now says 190 million impacted by the 2024 data breach. So we all remember the United Healthcare data breach. Now it appears that over 190 million Americans had their personal and healthcare data stolen in the ransomware attack, and that doubles the previously disclosed figure. I'm not going to read more of this article. That basically you get the gist of that right there. If you've not received your United Healthcare or your Change Healthcare free year of threat monitoring or identity theft protection, it's coming. Make sure you use it at least while you can, because these 190 million Americans are not going to deal with the after effects of PII theft for the rest of their lives. So if they're offering free identity theft, regardless of whether it's good, bad, or otherwise, at least take it. At least you then have some protection, but you're going to have to end up doing a whole lot other things to keep your stuff protected. So, take those measures to freeze your credit, do all the things you need to do. But even then, freezing credit is good. It's not going to completely solve all of your problems because they're going to have your phone numbers, your address, there's title fraud, there's all sorts of different things bad guys can now do to you in perpetuity. Just know that, 190 million, that's over half of the population of the United States. Had their information taken. The bad. The lawsuit on that is going to be something else. HackerNews.com, Ravi Lakshmanan reporting gamma copy mimics gamma reading tactics and cyber espionage targeting Russian entities. Now, this is all happening in Russia, so not really U.S. based, or for my UK friends, this doesn't really impact you necessarily, but it goes to show the depth at which cyber criminals rely on tactics by nation-state actors. A previously unknown threat actor has been observed copying the tradecraft associated with the Kremlin-aligned Gamma Reading hacking group in its cyber attacks targeting Russian-speaking entities. The campaign has been attributed to a threat cluster dubbed Gamma Copy, which is assessed to share overlaps with another hacking group named Core Werewolf, also tracked as Awaken Liko and Pseudo Gamma Reading. That's a lot of names. Man, the names we come up with for these groups is something else. According to KnownSec 404 Advanced Threat Intelligence Team, the attacks leverage content related to military facilities as lures to drop Ultra VNC, allowing threat actors to remotely access the compromised host. The TTPs of this organization imitates that of the Gamma Reading organization, which conducts attacks against the Ukraine, the company said. So chances are this is a Ukrainian organization because they're now hacking or attacking Russian government agencies. But this goes to show the point I'm making on this is how warfare is going to be done, right? In addition to the guns and bullets flying, you can have all of this cyber-related espionage type of stuff going on in the background, state against state, and in this case, criminal. This threat actor, we don't know if it's state-sponsored Ukrainian or who it is. It could be criminal entity, but unlikely because it's targeting state organizations. But this is, cyber espionage is changing, folks. Counterintelligence is changing, and if you're a company, just understand that as countries go to not war per se, but are in conflict, you're going to be targeted. So if you don't have a counterintelligence plan in place, find someone like Gold Shield Cyber to help you figure out how to do that. So I'm going to develop a program that basically you can overlay onto your IT systems that creates a counterintelligence culture and capability that can be as limited or as in-depth as you want. You just got to ask for it. But so if you're interested, let me know. But we'll have more of that on the Cyber Guy podcast tomorrow. Andy Greenberg from Wired.com, Subaru security flaws exposed its systems for tracking millions of cars. A non-fixed web bug allowed hackers to remotely unlock and start any of millions of Subarus. More disturbingly, they could also access at least a year of the car's location histories, and Subaru employees still can. So, again, I'm not going to dig deep into this article because I'm running out of time, but this goes to show, again, this is interesting because tomorrow's National Privacy Day. I'm actually going to be on the news in Washington, D.C. talking about this, but this is a good reminder that do you need your Subaru or your smart car to really track where you're going? You can go into settings in your cars and turn off all of this kind of stuff to protect your privacy if that's something that's important to you. But this is the risk of our connected smart cars, and every car is a smart car in some way, shape, or form now if it's new enough. But you have these risks with vulnerabilities and things like that can abuse your privacy. So if you don't want your privacy is taken, turn a lot of this stuff off. So, because you don't need it. It's not important to you, probably. It's not something you need to have. So it's there as a convenience, but you have to look at convenience versus security, and this is where the problem always lies. All right, this is last. scworld.com. Attacks on the Avanti appliances demonstrate a danger of chained exploits. The U.S. government is warning of a new exploit against multiple flaws in cloud applications. CISA warned that attackers are chaining a number of CVE-listed vulnerabilities into a single exploit script. And this is not surprising. This is something bad guys have been doing for a while. Find as many vulnerabilities as they can on the same device and then launch a chain of attacks. The flaws in question are present in Avanti appliances versions 4.6 and earlier. The threat actors use an obsolete status of the appliances to gather account details and harvest credentials. In this case, the flaws in question are a chain of flaws. There's 4 of them. I'm not going to list them out. You can read it in the article if you want to see them. But the point being, there's probably patches for these, so you should patch. The attack underscores the need for administrators and network defenders to maintain regular updates, monitor all systems and use on a network, no matter how significant they seem. But if you're a small company, that is certainly hard to do because you don't have the resources for it, but you should look for those. That's going to do it. I want to keep this under 15 minutes. I'm going to bail out here quick. As always, contact me on LinkedIn. Feel free to email me if you have questions. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. We'll see you Wednesday.